So, as I said, I will be accepting general questions as well. I'm going to be discussing about a specific topic that I think is interesting to you, but I will also be accepting general purpose questions. So do not hesitate to send them to me or to type them into YouTube. Let's see. Okay, looks like I'm able to share my screen now. Okay, that is great. So, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today and discuss an exciting new topic on the decentralized scene. My name is Labis Ioannisopoulos. I'm a scholar for the MSc in Digital Currencies provided by the University of Nicosia. I'm an economist and researcher of open decentralized technologies and decentralized finance, and I also advise businesses on how they can incorporate breakthrough technologies in their operations. Before we start, I would like to thank Stavros and my friend Xenophon for his introduction in Bitcoin and Ethereum, as we are going to be building and expanding upon this newly acquired knowledge. And I would also like to make a quick connection check to make sure that everybody can hear me very loud and clear and also can see my screen very clearly. So please, the hosts confirm that everybody can see.
My end, it's perfect.
Lambis, you have an amazing microphone over there and a great voice too. So go ahead.
Thank you so much.
You should do some radio. Think about
it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, seeing that most of you are business-minded or entrepreneurial people, or in one way or another involved with businesses and startups, I wanted to discuss a topic that I think will affect you directly, as it introduces a new way of doing business and a new way of doing governance. And this is the topic of DAOs, or Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. So hopefully I will also answer some of your questions on what decentralization is. So DAOs is what happens when you put together unstoppable money and unstoppable code to create unstoppable organizations with a couple of cool features. DAOs are open for everyone to participate. They can be transparent, they can be auditable, and most importantly, they can serve as a platform to incorporate for the growing advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning and Internet of Things in a very seamless way. So, in today's discussion, I'm going to be going over what a DAO is, what you can and what you cannot do with it. I'm going to be comparing it to traditional organizations throughout the duration of my talk and go over some notable, successful, and failed DAOs. And I will also be discussing a couple of caveats and how you and your business can prepare for this exciting future. Seeing as this is a more technical topic, I will be going for a surface level overview of everything, but I will be accepting more technical questions at the end. And I really hope that by the end of the session, you walk away with an expanded perception of what a business is and what governance is, and maybe a couple of ideas on how to incorporate those exciting technologies in your own organization. At least this is my goal. And with that being said, let's get into it. So, in order to get a basic understanding of what a DAO is, it is sufficient to go over the individual words that make up the acronym. So we've got decentralized, we've got autonomous, and we've got organization. And I think that you will agree when I say that the easiest one to wrap your head around is the organization word. So pretty simple. First and foremost, a DAO is an organization, meaning it is a collection of people that come together in order to fulfill a common goal. And this concept is very familiar to all of us. We are surrounded by organizations. And I want to say that we have an inherent and deep-rooted understanding of why people come together in order to achieve greatness. Over the years, we've heard it expressed in many ways. Some say it's the wisdom of the crowds. Some say that by coming together, we achieve more than our individual sums. But, the notion remains the same either way you put it, and it remains the same for DAOs as well. So a DAO is an organization, but it's not your typical organization. It comes with an interesting twist. You see, one of the characteristics, and from my perspective, advantages of open public blockchains is that they're neutral, meaning that they're agnostic towards people, towards agents, towards reasons for sending or receiving information. As long as you can connect to the network, send and receive valid information, you're a first-class citizen in the eyes of a DAO. So you can be a human, you can be a machine, you can be a Raspberry Pi, you can be a fridge. The DAO doesn't care. If you send valid information, you're a first-class citizen. And this notion, of course, has given birth to one of my favorite quotes that I cannot help myself but include in all presentations, which is, on the blockchain, nobody knows you're a fridge. So to settle things down, if we revisit the definition of organization that I gave before, where I say that it is a collection of people that come together, in the case of a DAO, we can say that it is a collection of entities that come together to achieve greatness. And I want you to imagine what kind of greatness this is. Imagine having colleagues that are AI or Internet of Things devices. Imagine a world where code is a first-class citizen and is free to work with humans, and it's unbound from human jurisdictions, and software that can work together with each other on a single project. I mean, imagine in the healthcare industry, machine learning working together for a solution for a coronavirus vaccine. Habib, I'm going to go over some notable DAOs in a while. So this is the first step. The first step. This is what the organization part means. So I now want to take the time to move on to an equally important part, which is what decentralized means. So when we say decentralized, and this will hopefully ask the question of Chris that he asked before, we mean that the organization is entirely incorporated online on the thousands of nodes that voluntarily help maintain the network, on the computers that help maintain the network. And of course, here we are. And of course, those computers agree with each other on the validity of information due to a consensus layer that Xenophon discussed before. In the case of Bitcoin, this consensus layer is called the Nakamoto consensus, or proof of work. And in the case of Ethereum, this will be proof of stake soon enough. So this ensures that not only the information on the DAO is always valid, but also that the code that runs the DAOs, and I'm going to be discussing more about it in a while, is always executed in the same way. And since it's all public on a blockchain, there is no way for a DAO to cheat you or hide revenues or otherwise act maliciously unless it is programmed to do so. The last advantage that I want to mention is that there's no single point of failure. So this means that in the case of a global pandemic, a DAO would continue to operate uninterrupted. We're moving to the last part that to me is the most exciting part, and it is the autonomous part. So what does it mean? How can we fathom an organization that is completely autonomous? So a DAO is autonomous in the sense that there's no single human managerial entity actively governing the organization and making decisions based on research and market trends, and then exercising authority to actualize those decisions. It has no CEO. It is governed by, instead, it has all of its business logic entirely written in code and executed in a very precise way by the nodes that maintain the network. So, and is also governed by the DAO shareholders. The very interesting thing, in case you haven't noticed, is that since all of this is public on the blockchain, your business plan is out there for everyone to see. And not only see, but also copy. And not only copy, but potentially reverse engineer and implement in the exact same way. Which is scary, but it allows for something that is commonplace in the open source community, which is for people to work together on complex problems. So imagine the implications of this for logistics, for engineering, or for healthcare problems. So to wrap things up, DAOs promote openness, they promote transparency, they promote coordination and distributed governance. And in the case of where a permission chain is used, and I can expand on that during the Q&A session, they also promote tracking and rewarding contribution. And with that being said, I want to move on to a more pragmatic side of things and discuss a couple of notable DAOs. I want to take the time to preface this part of the discussion with a disclaimer. I'm not personally endorsing any of those projects. My purpose here is purely educational, and I want to give you enough information so you can decide on your own through your own research. So, the first notable DAO is the Dash DAO. It started off as a copy or fork, as we call it, of Bitcoin and attempted to improve on some of its shortcomings or what it thought was shortcomings. And one of the things that it wanted to address was that people get compensated for the work they do in improving the protocol. So as you might be aware of, Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies in general have gone through various iterations until their present version. And this is through the work done by researchers and programmers that do not get directly compensated for the work. So DAS thought it would be better for them to get paid. And instead of building a centralized authority, such as a committee that can be corrupt, that can be incompetent, that can be bribed, they delegated this authority to the DAS holders. And in this way, they managed to automate to find a way to automate funds towards developers and marketeers. They managed to host events and even an educational YouTube show. So this is an idea maybe that you should consider when for the next time you want to delegate funds. The other notable DAO that I want to mention, which is a personal favorite, is the Maker DAO. So Maker is an infinitely complex attempt at creating a stable coin, meaning a cryptocurrency that is always pegged one-to-one to a fiat currency. In the case of Maker, this is the dollar, and it uses the Maker token for governance. And the last one that I want to mention, give me a second. And the last one that I want to mention is the Aragon DAO, which is a platform. It is DAO in itself, and it's also a platform for building other DAOs. So all of those were arguably success stories, but I want to talk about something that is a little bit more spicy. And this is the DAO. So the DAO was one of the most promising projects to ever hit the decentralized space. It's meant to operate as a venture capital fund for crypto-related ideas, and the platform will allow for everyone with an idea to pitch it and potentially receive rewards and funds from the DAO. And anyone with DAO tokens could vote on the idea and then receive compensation in case this was successful. Needless to say that this idea caught up, as it received more than 11.5 million ETH in funding from more than 18,000 aspiring investors, which was at some time worth more than $2 billion US. And it was also 15% of the total circulation of Ethereum. If you do not know what this means, is that take all the Ethereum that exists out there, 15% of this was delegated towards the DAO. So in June 2016, the DAO went live, and within days, a security hole was found, and a fix was created and waited approval. However, it was too late, because one short day later, June 17, 2016, I was there, a hacker discovered the loophole and managed to drain $70 million dollars worth of ETH from the DAO contracts. So here you can see one original screenshot from Reddit thread that is still live and that you can still visit. And you can also see replies from celebrities in the decentralized space, such as the creator of Ethereum himself, Vitalik Buterin.
Lavi, sorry, for some reason we cannot see the whole screen of yours.
What exactly are you able to see?
For example, at my end, at least, I don't know, Xenophon, can you also confirm? I see.
I see everything quite well on my end.
Okay, maybe it's my settings. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
I'm good too, guys. I'm good too.
Okay, carry on, guys.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, the Ethereum community tried their best to stop the DAO, the drain, but it came down to a fork of the Ethereum chain. They essentially split the chain and created a new one where the exploit didn't happen. The new one is called Ethereum, and it's the main network of Ethereum. And the old one where the exploit still exists is Ethereum Classic. And I can expand on this during the Q&A session. This was the end of the DAO, as you might expect, and it was also a good lesson for all of us. It taught us that when you use unstoppable money and couple it with unstoppable code to create unstoppable organizations, this can lead to unstoppable exploits. So now that we've seen the power of DAOs, both for good and for bad, you might be wondering how to adapt for this future. And the first thing to realize is that blockchains and cryptocurrencies and DAOs are not just a product innovation. They're not just a process innovation, not a position innovation, or even a paradigm innovation. They're all those innovations put together and then some. They're a product innovation because they're building on top of cryptocurrencies and blockchains and smart contracts. And since the days of the early internet, zero-knowledge proofs and cryptography and security are a hot topic again. They're a process innovation because they involve the concept of reaching distributed consensus in a network of mutually distrusting nodes, which was thought to be impossible up until 2017, when the Nakamoto consensus got its formal verification. This means that you can agree on the validity of information along with people, with millions of other people, potentially billions of other devices that you have never heard of, that you've never met, even if some of those try to break the system. And they are a paradigm innovation because banks and financial service providers have had 12 years to repair customer trust since the financial collapse of 2008. And here we are in 2020 talking about bailing out banks again. Lastly, I want to say that they're also a platform innovation because they're a platform innovation because banks, sorry about that, they're a platform innovation because as the internet allowed for e-commerce and social media and teleconferences such as this one, DAOs will allow for inclusive, open, and a transparent way of doing governance, economy, and business. So the question remains how to prepare for this. And I can answer it in 1 minute. Develop a culture of constant innovation. 1 week of developments in the decentralized space is 3 months of developments for a startup and 1 year of developments for a traditional corporate business. So if you fall in this last category, you will not even see it coming. Embrace a culture of constant change and innovation. A day without innovation should mean literal death for your business. Number 2, flatten your organizational structure. We are moving towards a world where the center is automated out, so delegate as much managerial power as you possibly can to each individual part of your organization. And the most important of all is tip number 3, which is to start learning and start embracing open decentralized technologies and their implications for our worlds. Do not invest in Bitcoin. Do not invest in Ethereum. Invest in education, because education is the only thing that cannot lose 80% of its value overnight, that cannot be lost, that cannot be confiscated or stolen. And by investing in education, you invest not only in Bitcoin and Ethereum and smart contracts, you invest in all of those things at the same time. And most importantly, you invest in your ability and your organization's ability to pursue all future roads. I hope this online discussion was the first step to you towards this direction, and I want to take 2 more minutes of your time to suggest some future steps. Join Cryptoscholio, which is the first, and to my heart, the largest casual Greek community for crypto discussion. You will get most of your questions answered there, and you will meet some awesome people like our host, Dimitris. Dimitris, ευχαριστώ πολύ για τη δουλειά που έχεις κάνει και γιατί θες το ράδι σου μέχρι τις 4 ξύπνιος για να το οργανώσεις για όλους μας. Join some of the online courses on blockchain technology that are provided for free. There are some great courses by Berkeley University, by Princeton University, and even by the Linux Foundation. And of course, we cannot go without mentioning the massive online open course provided by the University of Nicosia and taught by 2 leading experts in the decentralized space, Antonis Polemitis, Andreas Adonopoulos, and coordinated by Dimitris Tseas. All of those people are great teachers. They do not need my endorsement. They're worldwide renowned professionals. So once again, my name is Labis Ioannopoulos. The best way to reach me is on Telegram at Lambistion. This is LAMBISDION. Or you can find me on LinkedIn under the name Lambis Ioannopoulos. I will be more than happy to get up close and personal with you and maybe answer your questions, and we'll see what comes up. So thank you so much. I will be open for questions now. So make sure to ask some great ones.
So everyone, please go ahead and ask your questions. I'm gonna check Zoom and YouTube to see if we have any regarding DAOs. At the same time, I want to take this small break as an opportunity to say, Labi, can you please go back for just a minute at the University of Nicosia?
Sure.
So first of all, I would like to thank again the University of Nicosia that let the people know that this session is going to take place, and we have many members of the university with us. Of course, we are all about education, and the University of Nicosia is not the only one that deals with blockchain issues. However, I have to really recommend this free MOOC. I believe it's the first university that they had an MSc.
It was in 2014.
Yeah, it was, okay, yeah. Regarding blockchain. So huge respect and kudos for this. And part of the first part, I think, of this MSc is this free MOOC. Whoever completes it gets either way a certification, and they can carry on with their MSc studies or just stop there. So no commitment attached, let's say. I just wanted to say some few words because it happens for me to be the ambassador of the University of Nicosia for Greece as well. It is one of the many hats that I wear. I have this. Since you refer to community, Labi, Crypto School is a group that it happened to create. It is there are many communities out there, and as I say, there are not. I said it wrong. So there are many communities.
I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in. I'm not sure if you want to add something else, Dimitris.
We will. I just wanted to say that for me, the blockchain community is one, and it is expressed through many channels. Either this is Telegram, Facebook, or other platforms as well. So let's see, Labis, do you see?
Yeah. I have a couple here. So,
Okay, so
we've got somebody asking, are there some recommended platforms for creating a company like DAO? So, couple of things that I want to address. Not many platforms. I included one in the slides. It's called Aragon. It's a DAO in itself, and it's a platform for creating other DAOs. It has a couple of templates that you can use that automatically trigger smart contracts and create a decentralized autonomous organization for you with functions that you can choose. This is an exciting project that I have used in the past, and I would be more than happy because it's infinitely complex, and you need to have at least a very good understanding of wallets and how to do transactions and a little bit understanding of smart contracts. I would be more than happy if you want me to go over a tutorial on how to create your decentralized autonomous organization. We can do this in the future. Where can you go to read of Aragon? If you just type in Google Aragon, you can. I'm pretty sure that you will come across their white paper and countless documentations on how you can create your own. So another question that I saw was, can you please briefly explain the concept of DeFi? Okay, that is a great question. This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about.
This
So
huge topic.
So it makes me happy to see people that want to be involved in the decentralized space. So DeFi is an umbrella term that characterizes a collection of technologies and a collection of problems that mimic the traditional functionality of banks and financial service providers, but they do it in a decentralized way. Now, they don't only mimic it, but they also, on top of it, add some expanded functionality. So one of the main applications of DAO are stable coins, which I discussed. One of those stable coins is DAO, and it is a very exciting project. So imagine this. Through a DAO, through a decentralized autonomous organization, by people and machines that don't know each other, the maker DAO is able to create a cryptocurrency, okay, that is backed by a basket of collateral and is always stable against the dollar. And this is a prime example of decentralized finance. Another prime example of decentralized finance is decentralized exchanges, where you can switch from one crypto to another. And this is very popular with ERC20 tokens. Those are Ethereum tokens, by utilizing breakthrough technologies such as cross-chain atomic swaps, which they're immensely complex to go over, but you use time-locked smart contracts and signed transactions. And this is something that I can get into at some point in the future if you'd like to learn more. It is a whole session of its own. I'm also reading about has any process been made with the legal recognition of DAOs to replace companies? So the question to that, so in order to answer this question, you have to well, it depends on the jurisdiction and it depends on many things. There hasn't been enough developments in the space to even recognize smart contracts as legally binding. And there are a couple of projects that are working on it, like Codra with the Ricardian contracts, which are both human and machine readable. But up until now, the only way, and I'm not a legal expert, but the only way that I can see where you can have something recognized in court is to have an offline contract, include information of the online contract or the DAO to the offline contract, and then include information of the offline contract back to the DAO or smart contract, and in this way sign it and prove that it was your intention all along. Again, this is very complex, and this is something that I would like to have much more time than we actually have to go into. So I'm not sure if you can see if I'm seeing any other questions.
I am scanning.
Guys, I think after the wallet and exchange one, we should definitely do one about DeFi. Because DeFi,
Yes, by all means. Maybe we combine it as well, Xenophon. Maybe wallets is the first sub-session, and DeFi is the...
But if you wanna chat DAI, if you wanna learn more about DAI, just hit me up. I love talking about those kinds of things through Telegram or through LinkedIn. I will spend some time with you and address all of your concerns. Do not hesitate to do it.